Well, welcome to another episode of the BrandonJaneauShow. As you know, I am BrandonJaneau, like always on all podcast platforms everywhere. BrandonJaneauShow. Social media platforms. Instagram, Threads, BrandonJaneau. Um, Facebook, the BrandonJaneauShow. And we still on TikTok. Holy shit, who knew that band was not even a real band? Who knew? I'll talk about that later. But I'm on TikTok still, BrandonJaneauShow on TikTok. You really could just go, it's just very simple. YouTube channel, Brand New Show, man. Like the videos. I guess I'm getting into algorithms because comments and stuff. So like vids, like the videos, like the shorts, um, everything, man. So everything helps. So appreciate y'all for subscribing, commenting. Appreciate it, man. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, so you already know. It's I Bleed Sports. Oh yeah. So much shit going on. You got the college football playoffs that happened last night. I'll talk about that. Of course, you have the divisional round that just happened in the NFL. Of course, you got the conference championship games coming up this week. I'll be talking about that. My eyes on football. My big four in the NFL. Of course, my levels of warning in the NFL for the NFL. So that's all coming up. Coaches are now being announced. Yeah, yeah. A lot of shit going on. A lot of shit. A lot of shit going on. Of course, the NBA is now starting to try to establish who they are. Do we care? I'll talk about it. And of course, and of course, uh, boxing. Boxing is gonna be back with a massive fight in a couple days. I think the Nightmare fight in Japan a couple days from now, and then I guess, and then uh, David uh, uh, David Benavidez and versus David Morrell. They're gonna be fighting each other in February 1st, and I'll be talking about that fight. And Ryan Garcia has officially announced that he will be fighting a couple people himself. I think he's fighting. Fuck is he fighting? Tiafimo? I think Tiafimo Lopez. He's fighting somebody. I can't remember who. But he has also said that he will be fighting also. Oh, is it Pitbull Cruz? Maybe Pitbull. But he has announced that he's also going to be fighting Devin Haney again at some point during the 2025 year. So I'll talk about if I really think that fight's actually really going to fucking happen. But anyway, let's get into it, man. Uh, so let's start here. Baseball. Me and my brother Juan was talking about this earlier this morning, and he asked me, "Do I think the Dodgers are ruining baseball?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, I think the Dodgers are ruining baseball." But I said also because the MLB is letting them do it. The Dodgers have found a way to pretty much loophole not having to pay most of their players. They don't have to, they don't have to play, they don't have to pay too many of their players. Shohei Ohtani, of course, Shohei Ohtani, of course, got signed a 10-year deal for, what, like 700 something $1 million, some crazy number, but doesn't really actually have to, but deferred it to the end of the year, to the end of his contract. And then the Dodgers just signed this New Japan. I think he's a pitcher. Now he's here. Like, yeah, the Dodgers have found a way to pretty much not have to fall in line with what the hell is going on with baseball. And if you can do it, do it. I mean, like I said, it's baseball's fault because they're letting this happen. Do I think the Dodgers are not going to go off and win 10 straight World Series? Fuck no. At some point, it's going to correct itself. That's the thing about sports. Even if you don't believe it, sometimes it's going to just correct itself. Do I think the Dodgers? Do I think the Mets are going to be the team that stopped them? Not really. I don't. Um, I have more faith in probably the Braves. I have more faith in the Braves or the Phillies. I have more faith in them than I have the fucking Mets. But the Dodgers are the new shit. They're the new hot team. They're the new spark on the wheel for the MLB. For years it was the Yankees, and then it was the Red Sox, and then it was the Astros for a good stretch of time, and now it's the Dodgers. And I've always joked about the Dodgers and said, yo, the Dodgers are great until they come into the postseason, and then they lose when they get into the postseason. I've seen that movie a bunch of times. They finally won a World Series. Congratulations. Do I think that you're gonna now be this now dominant fucking team for the next 10, 15 years? You've been one of the best NL teams for the last 10, 15 years since 2009. You've been the best NL team since when you had Matt Camp and uh, Adam Ethier and yeah, the Dodgers been. People forget this shit. The Dodgers been the team. They've been good for years. This isn't some new shit. They've been since like 2009. The Dodgers have been Clayton Kershaw when he was young. Like you got a lot of young. Like the Dodgers have been a team for what 15, 16 years. Damn near this run has been like 15, 16 years. This isn't anything new. So, but the fact of the matter is the Dodgers are now the new cream of the crop. They're the new top dog in the MLB. And the question is, what does that really mean? Because baseball is still not getting over. And it's still not, and I hate to say it like that because it sounds like a wrestling term, but it's not getting over. Nobody cares about baseball because you have saturated the market so much. And you've told us, as fans of the sport, we only care about the major league, the big teams. We only care about the Yankees. We only care about the Dodgers. We only care about the Astros. We only care about if the Cubs are good. If the Cubs are good, then we care about the Cubs. If the Phillies, we care about the Mets, and we don't care about any other Red Sox. When the Red Sox are good. But outside of that, there's no room for teams that just pop up in the playoffs and win to go to the World Series. And my brother Juan said something that was very interesting today. He said, the Texas Rangers and the Diamondbacks who played maybe what 2 3 years ago in the what 2 years ago in the World Series. It don't even feel like that shit now. But they literally played like 2 years ago in the World Series. That shit don't even feel like it's a real thing. That shit happened 2 years ago. The Rangers came into last year as the champions. Like that shit don't even compute sometimes. Like what the fuck, really? The Nationals won a title just recently. The Braves have won a recent World Series championship. It's like shit like that. Like you can't even fathom like I said, eventually, yeah, all of these teams, the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Mets, they pay so many players, but at the same time, there's something lacking. And that is why I feel like baseball will always correct itself at some point. It's going to correct itself. Yes, the Dodgers are fucking up baseball, but so has the Yankees, and so has the Red Sox at one point. So was the Astros at one point. The Astros, who, as much as people don't want to hear this, did it actually the most natural fucking way. They drafted all of those players. All of those players that the Astros have that won them titles, uh, got them to the World Series for the last couple of years. They drafted each and every one of those players. They went through a farming system. This ain't like the Yankees where they have one person like Aaron Judge who went through the farming system, and then John Carlos Stanton who you bought from from the Miami Marlins, and then you bought in Juan Soto from the Nationals, then the Padres, and then it's not the same. Garrett Cole who's been bounced around from Pittsburgh to the Astros to now the Yankees. It's not the same. It's like even when the Red Sox got hot in the 2000s, the Red Sox got hot because they had players that were already established in the Red Sox culture. It's not the same. The Dodgers are just bringing in people, signing them, and that's great and that's awesome, and I'm happy for you. Do I think the Dodgers are ruining baseball? Yeah, I think they are. But so was the Yankees. So was the Red Sox. So was the Mets. So was any team that got an amount of unlimited amount of resources and money will always ruin the league because you can't do shit about it, especially when you have no fucking salary cap. Baseball has no salary cap, so easily the top of the top is always going to succeed. The problem with that is Because, like I said, at some point you lack something. You don't have enough pitching in the bullpen. You don't have the right starters, you know, to help your rotation. It's something that's going to catch up with the Dodgers, and that's the one thing I tell people all the time about this shit. And that's what I'm going to always say. Yes, the Dodgers are ruining baseball. Definitely, they are ruining baseball. But they got the money. They got an easy road to a lot of people to get to the World Series every year. I don't believe that shit. I think the NL is way tougher than the AL because you got the you got the Phillies, you got the Braves, and that's just the NL East. The Mets, you got the Brewers who have dominated the NL Central for years and just could never get the fuck over the hump. I feel bad for the Brewers fans. Listen, Milwaukee fans. I've been riding with y'all since y'all had Prince Fielder. Prince Fielder. I remember y'all got Cliff Lee one year, and I remember when y'all were like rolling through people, and then y'all got to like the NLDS, and then you failed and fell out the playoffs. Every year, it feels like the Brewers have a good team. They establish the team. They know what they're about to do, and then they shit the bed in the playoffs every fucking year. And they have the best record. They come in either the first or the second seed, and they lose. And you just be sitting there like, what the fuck is this? Like, why are you losing? But the NL is way tougher than the AL. Like, if you was to give me a picture, like, who's the tougher, you know, of the conference, I guess if you want to say it, or the leagues, the NL is way tougher for the Dodgers to get through than the fucking, let's say, the Yankees. Because I'm looking at the AL West and I'm like, Astros should get there every year, but at the same time, the Astros could have a down year. And then who's the team that comes out the AL West? The Rangers? The Marlins? I mean, the Mariners? Like, you like the Rangers or the Mariners? Like, okay, we could beat them. Like, we could beat them. And then you look at the AL Central. The AL Central is the same fucking two teams. Guardians or the Twins. They just flip flop. For the last couple of years, it's just been the Guardians, because the Twins have been there, but they just can't win. They just can't get over it. And the Royals put up a fight early last year, and then they just faded at the end. And then you look at the Yankees' own conference, on division, the AL East. Who's to say the Yankees gets out the AL East this year? I know Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I think is a free agent for the Twins. I mean for the Blue Jays, but the Rays are one of those teams I talk about. Like, they have a farming system that works and it figures it out. Like, I saw this when they got hot in 2008 and got to the NLCS against the Red Sox with David Price and Evan Longoria and BJ Upton. I was a huge Rays fan that year. I was like, yes, please get to the World Series. Please go to the World Series. I could not do another Red Sox. I was like, God damn, anybody but the Yankees and the Red Sox. But it's shit like that, man. These teams, and at some point, it's going to come down to the, the teams that buy their teams, which we've already seen. That's the thing about baseball. Eventually, it's going to come down to this. And I was telling my brother Juan this earlier this morning. Eventually, it's going to come down to this, which is, yeah, you got all the high price players, and that's fucking great for you. But what has that really gotten you? The Yankees haven't won a World Series since 2009. All those fucking players ain't won a World Series in 2009. This was the first appearance in the World Series since 2009. No, yeah, 2009. Fuck, god damn, nigga. Yeah, because Aaron Judge never got to a World Series until this year. Damn, nigga. Like, damn, nigga. Y'all haven't been to a World Series in since 2009, and you lost this year. Damn, that tells you a lot. Like, you got all these players. The Dodgers have been to the World Series a couple times. This is the first time, well, second time, because they won in 2020, but nobody remembers that fucking championship. So this is the first time they won a title. since the 80s that we care about, that we actually watched and cared about. So all this high price shit eventually is gonna play itself out. That's what I'm saying. Like, do I think the Dodgers are ruining baseball? Yeah, but it's their time to ruin baseball. It's their time to be the cream of the crop. Who says they're gonna go off and will off 10 fucking championships? Because I don't think they will. Because I think eventually, like I've always said, it's going to bite them in the ass. I love Dave Roberts, but Dave Roberts is it's like Steve Kerr with the Warriors at one point. It's like at some point, bro, you got an all star team. What the fuck do you really do? What do you do? Like you got a fucking all star team. When I got Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Kevin Durant, and I got Andre Iguodala and all these other players on a fucking bench, hey, bro, toss up, nigga. I don't know what I want to do. I'm gonna just do it. It's the same thing with Dave Roberts and with the Dodgers. Does he really have to do anything? Basketball. So yesterday was Martin Luther King Day, which means it was pretty much basketball day. Uh, a lot of games went on yesterday. On TNT, there was a couple games. Boston and Golden State played. Grizzlies and Timberwolves played. You know, all these games, and I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch one game. I didn't watch one game. Yeah. Um, Basketball right now is in a very slippery slope. Here's the thing about basketball. Nobody really watches basketball until football's over. And I hate that I hate that it's that way, but it's that way. But you don't have anything intriguing going on also in the NBA. There's nothing intriguing. Jimmy Butler is still with Miami. They haven't traded this man at all. And the way it sounds and feels is they're never gonna trade him. I don't think they're ever gonna fucking trade him. Because what are you getting out of it? There's nothing good coming back from that trade if you trade Jimmy Butler. This is why I've always said, like when teams say, "Oh, I'm giving," players say, I'm gonna give you a list." Hey, bro, none of these people on this list have anything of interest. I don't give not one single fuck about any of that shit. I don't give not one single fuck of any of that shit. The NBA is in a very slippery slope right now. You don't have really any true number one star, young NBA star. I thought this year would be the Anthony Edwards year. I thought he would pull away and prove that he is the guy now. With no Karl Anthony Towns, I thought he would be the guy, and he hasn't. He hasn't proved it yet. It's still time. It's a bunch of fucking time. But then you see, Stephen A. Smith get on TV and be like, "Oh man," like you see Stephen A. Smith get on TV and be like, "Oh man, they ruined the dunk contest, bro." You've been saying that shit for like 5, 6, 7 years. Like dunk contest is never gonna get fixed. It's never gonna get fixed. And if you still holding your breath for the fucking dunk contest to get fixed, you are delusional. The NBA has ruined the All Star game. They've ruined All Star weekend. I still watch the 3 point contest because, excuse me, I still watch the 3 point contest because that's the only contest that actually matters. You don't need no fancy ass, you know, pull out the bag shit. Just shoot the fucking ball, man. It's just let it fucking fly, bro. The dunk contest just is not intriguing. You've all here's the thing about the dunk contest. You want to fix the dunk contest? You want to fix the dunk contest? Stop trying to get players to do it. Stop trying to get NBA players to do it because they don't care about it. They don't care about it like Michael Jordan did, like Dominique Wilkins did. Shit, even Kobe participated in a dunk contest. They don't care about it. They don't care. They don't give a fuck. And that's the thing. Once you gave players the there's no incentive for them. There's no incentive for them to get into the dunk contest. There's no reasoning behind doing that. And so, yeah, the NBA is in a really shitty position because, like I said, until the NFL is over and done and football is 100% behind us, nobody's gonna care about the NFL. Nobody's gonna care about NBA. Nobody's gonna care. It's nice to see John Moran get his shit going. Zion's been out for fucking months. And now he's finally back and finally they're finally moving the Pelicans. A little bit too late for my liking. It's just like, bro, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, I'm not gonna sit up here and like y'all can't get into the play-in. Y'all definitely get into the play-in, but the NBA has ruined itself. And I'm gonna just be honest. Adam Silver has ruined the NBA. People want to keep asking who ruined the NBA. Adam Silver ruined the NBA because he chose to make it a players' league, and these players have more say so on what they want to do than anything. Now, I hear people always say, "Oh, but you know," I hear people always say like, um, you know, it's a players' league, so you gotta let the players do what they do. Yeah, but that's why you put yourself in a position where they're at right now in the NBA, where you got too many fucking Chiefs, not enough Indians. You got too many Chiefs, not enough Indians. Too many people think they're the fucking best, and they're not. You're not talented enough. Here's the thing: you're not talented enough to be the head of a team, to be the man of a team, to be the face of a fucking franchise. And yet you have people that will sit there and tell you that you are, and you're not. You're not. Your game doesn't speak for it, and that's the thing. I listen. That's my feeling on the NBA is that you got too many people that think they're the Chiefs, and none of them are the Indians. They all think they have more to they have a you know a bigger place in this game than they actually fucking do. You haven't done enough to be the face of a franchise. If you told me Giannis is the face of the Bucks, I would 100% tell you you fucking right. But you also have to take the responsibility of being the face of the fucking Bucks. So when your team don't perform and y'all don't win and y'all don't win a championship, I don't want to hear shit about how that don't really fall on Giannis. Yes, the fuck it do. Yes, the fuck it do. I don't hear that shit. Yes, the fuck it do. He's the face of the goddamn franchise. How could you not say it don't fall on Giannis? The Lakers suck right now. The Lakers are a 500 team at best sometimes. And if LeBron don't play and Anthony Davis don't play, they're below 500 for most of the fucking games. Now, whose fault is that? LeBron's. If you want to ring, you are a chief. But you also got to come with, but that responsibility that you got to carry has to be an, has to be taken in stride because not enough people blame motherfuckers for how bad their teams are. And you got fanboys nowadays that want to sit up here and conversate about, but my player did their best. LeBron was killing it. I don't give a fuck about LeBron killing it, my nigga. You are the reason for why this team sucks. Your decision making off the court is why this team is not good. On the court. Because that's the truth. Same thing with Giannis. Same thing with Joel Embiid. And the problem with Joel Embiid is, and this is the thing about, see, here's the thing. This is the thing about, like I said, If you win a championship, you could be a chief. I don't give a fuck. Do you think? But you gotta accept the responsibilities that comes with that. Accountability is very vital to that situation. Joel Embiid is not a chief. He's never won a championship. He's never had the team be his team. You're talented. The same thing I said about football last week about these fucking quarterbacks. You're talented. But that's it. There's nothing more to it. You don't have no skills, no intangibles, nothing. You're just fucking talented. Same thing with Joel Embiid. You're talented. But that's nothing about you outside of just your talent that screams to me he should be the fucking face of your franchise. And I love Joel Embiid, but I'm not gonna lie for this fucker anymore either. I'm gonna be 100. Joel Embiid is not a face of a franchise. He's not. Zion Williamson is not a face of a franchise. He's not. That's why if I was a lot of these teams, I would invest in a Jalen Bronson. I would invest in a Steph Curry. I would invest in a lot of these players because at the end of the day, they have heart. And a lot of these fucking players do not nowadays. They don't have no heart. They have no heart. These players are not Chiefs. They're Indians. They should be getting fucking. They should be the followers, not the leaders. You got too many players nowadays in this league that are fucking leaders, and they can't lead you to a fucking drink of water, my nigga. Like, what are we doing? That's why the NBA is in a fucking shitstorm there, and every time we talk about this shit, it's getting better because now we can actually focus on it. We can actually watch the NBA. It's getting better because we're actually trying to watch it now. Because NFL season is winding down. College football just ended. Now we can watch the NBA. And then we're gonna look at it in the next couple of weeks and be like, okay, well, what we miss? What we missed? I haven't watched a actual full flash NBA game all fucking year. To be honest with you, I haven't watched an NBA game all fucking year. I've not been intrigued by it. I probably would go to a Houston Rockets game because I want to go see the Rockets. I think the Rockets are really fucking good. They're young and really good. Went to a Rockets game last year. I always go to like a Pelicans Rockets game. I don't want to go to see the Pelicans this year. They motherfuckers suck. But I'm gonna go in there and try to see if I can find some tickets, and then I'm gonna go watch the Rockets. The Rockets are good. Like they're not bad. That's a good team. So yeah, but not enough leaders. Bunch of fucking a bunch of leaders that should be followers. That's the problem with the NBA. You got too many fucking Chiefs, not enough Indians. And until you fix that shit, that's what's gonna be like. Ryan Garcia's suspension is supposed to be lifted in April, May. He's already announced that he will be fighting in May. Again, I forgot who he's going to be fighting. I think it's Pitbull Cruz. I think. Or Teofimo. I can't remember who the fuck he's fighting. He's fighting somebody. But he also says that he's going to be also fighting Devin Haney again too. I don't think that fight's going to happen. Now, if you watched me a couple weeks ago when I did my, what I would like to see in boxing in 2025, that is definitely one of those matches. But something's going to come up where that shit is not going to happen. I will be completely and utterly surprised if that fight happens. I will be shocked. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I'll be fucking surprised because Devin Haney is. I think Ryan is gonna be the one that's gonna be like, I've already beat you. I've already beaten you. Why do I need to get in the ring with you again and fight you? I think it's gonna be on Ryan this time. I think Ryan is not gonna want to get in the ring with Devin because in his mind he's like, I already beat you. Yeah, you gonna sit there and lie and say I use steroids, but nigga, I beat you. Like I beat you. Why am I fighting you again? And that's what's gonna hurt that fight. he's not going to accept the fact that he has to fight Devin Haney. He's not going to want to do it, especially if this is. And again, maybe he does take the fight. I mean, Ryan has been the most successive to fighting the big names, and he has chosen to get in the ring with a lot of these boxers. So maybe he does take this fight, but I think it's just gonna be more on Devin on Ryan's side this time, where he's like, I don't feel like I have to fight you, especially if this is true that they are putting certain things in a contract that is making sure that he does 24/7 round the clock drug testing before the fight. So if that is the case, that right there is already gonna be like a fucking, because again, Ryan is a very Ryan's temperamental. Ryan is fucking bipolar sometimes. Like he just something goes right, then it goes completely fucking wrong in 5 seconds. You're just like, what the fuck? What? We had to fight, and it's just like, nope, don't want to do it. Okay, why? Because you agreed to this shit. You agreed to do the 24/7 round the clock drug testing, and you chose to not do it. Why? Ah, they trying to, bruh. Here's the thing. I think he could beat Devin this time. I think he beats Devin this time. But I've also said Devin might get him this time too. This might be the real 50-50 match because if Devin comes in with a different game plan, he can get him. He can definitely get him. I wouldn't be surprised. I've already talked about the Terrence Crawford and Canelo fight. They have officially announced that it's going to happen in September. Cool, great. I don't care. I don't care. Um, when it happens, I'll talk about it and I will, do my boxing analysis on it. But I don't care. I don't care. I try not to be that guy, but I just don't give a fuck. Canelo is again, like I said, as good as Travis Crawford has been in his career. You going to 186, yeah, 186 to fight Canelo Alvarez, who's been pretty much, you know, cemented in that division for damn near what 2, 3, 4 years now. He's been cemented in that division for probably longer than that. He doesn't. I don't think he sees the point. You two are fighting each other, and I truly just look at that, and I'm just like, I don't care. Like I said, when the fight happens, I'm gonna watch it. Of course, I'm gonna watch it. But something about this fight just feels weird. Am I the only one? It just feels weird. I don't know. Anyway, David David Benavidez, the Mexican Monster, will be back in the ring February 1st. I got a goddamn night that night. Lord Jesus. I got the Royal Rumble for my wrestling life. I'll be doing that. And then I got the boxing match. I'm gonna watch that after the Royal Rumble, after I do my rating review show. Hopefully the Royal Rumble stay the way it is. I think both. Like I'm gonna talk about that later. But David Morrell and David Benavidez will be fighting each other. And I watched the Gloves Off, um, both episodes of Gloves Off on YouTube. And yo, David Benavidez talking crazy. Like he talking reckless. Like I'm like this nigga here talking with a full flash. Like fuck this nigga. Like he full like fuck this dude. I'ma hurt this motherfucker. He talking reckless. I'm like this shit is not good. Like what is going on? He didn't even talk this reckless with his last fight. He was like, "Nah, I respect him. Like he's a former light heavyweight champion, and I'm coming up to fight him." And you know, and he went out there, and it wasn't his greatest performance, but again, he had injuries going on, so it wasn't so shocking that he didn't have a great performance. And he straight up was like, Dave Morrell think I'm about to go in there and have that same type of fight, and it's like, bro, I'm gonna hurt you, dude. I'm gonna fucking hurt you. Like you have no idea. Dave Morrell. is good. He's a strong ass boxer. He can hit you. He can do his things. But I've seen too many people talk shit about their Benavidez and they go in the ring and get their ass whooped. Caleb Plant, Demetrius Andrade, uh, Andre Durrell. Like I've seen people talk crazy about Dave Benavidez and they go in the ring and get their ass whooped. So and they about the same kind of height. So it's like this gonna be an interesting fucking fight. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm looking forward to this fight. Super forward. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. This 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 is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun. I'll talk about that fight next week. Yeah, yeah, next week. Oh gee, all these days blending the fucking together. Holy shit. Um, yeah. Last night was college football's final game of the season. Notre Dame versus Ohio State. 34-23 to the new national champions, the Ohio State Buckeyes. Uh, if you see the score tonight today, you probably thought Notre Dame put up a fight, and they didn't. Uh, Ohio State scored most of their points in the first fucking half, like 31 points. They scored 31 fucking points in the first fucking half. This shit was bad. Notre Dame had 7. like, kudos to Notre Dame for putting up a fight at the end of the goddamn game, going into the second half and putting up a fight. This is what I've been said about Notre Dame, though. You have to keep it close. You cannot let Ohio State establish who they are. Same thing I said about the Penn State game. That's why they won that game at the end, because they could squeak it out. Because Notre Dame is a second half team, they're not a first half team. And that game last night was a prime example of that. You couldn't come back. You couldn't make it up. You're not playing against USC and fucking Penn State and you know what I'm saying? Like you're not playing against these teams that have no real offensive understanding. Like you're not playing against that. Ohio State is a little bit more talented than you are offensively. And like I told my brother Juan today, I don't know when the hell he's eligible for the draft, but Jeremiah Smith needs to be a Saint. Jeremiah Smith needs to be a goddamn Saint. I don't know when he's available for the draft, but he needs to be a Saint. I don't give a shit. That dude is special to be a freshman and do what he's done. They literally felt like they built their offense around him last night. It was like whatever he wants to do it. Whatever he want to do it. That game last night was a prime example. And again, my brother Juan was right because that is like a pet peeve of mine. So why the fuck are you all out blitzing on a third and fucking long? What fucking sense does that make? That's a Marcus Freeman fuck up. He fucked up on that one. That was a dumb ass. You have been a defensive coordinator for most of your career. You know damn well you're not supposed to do that shit. I don't give a fuck what you think. I don't care that you think your defense can get to that motherfucker. You don't do that. You don't all out blitz. You don't zero zone coverage to shit. You don't do that. You don't. You do not do that. It's embarrassing because now you lose the game, and now we got to sit here and actually ask the question that was Notre Dame even good? Notre Dame put up a fight in the second half, but nobody gives a fuck because you lost. That is the problem. Not a great start to the game, and a terrible fucking ending of the game. You shit the bed when you didn't even need to. It was a really stupid decision to blitz at the wrong fucking time. You never go all out blitz, a zero coverage. You never go that. You never do that. Don't do that. What the like, bruh? It's disrespectful. And then on top of that, you know you don't have the cornerbacks that can handle this fucking kid at the top of the fucking. If he gets past one person, It's over. And that's exactly what happened. As soon as he got past the first defender, it was done. It was over. You put that shit in the box. It was done. If you do not get to Will Howard, you're done. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. It just was bad. That was a bad play. It was bad. Oh God Almighty, that was fucking terrible. But the 12 team playoff is officially over. It is the first year, and it's done. And my brother Juan asked me this morning, and I said here, what do I think of the 12 team playoff? It sucked. It wasn't great. Because I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of 12 fucking teams when you went from four, which was like a very exclusive club where you had to win your division, you had to win your conference, you had to go at least undefeated, you had to win your conference, you had to be the best team. And then you go from that to being like, if you lose three fucking games, don't even get a chance to play in your conference championship, but you should still make the fucking playoffs. Huh? What? You realize if it was the 14 playoff last night, Notre Dame and Ohio State would have never made the fucking playoffs. Notre Dame and Ohio State would have never made the playoffs. Ohio State lost to Oregon and they lost to Michigan late. It didn't even play in the conference championship game. They would have never made the playoffs. Notre Dame doesn't even have a conference. But you had the worst loss of any team in the fucking playoffs. You lost to North Illinois. You would have never made the fucking playoffs. You can't argue that. Who they beat? Army, who won the Conference USA Championship. Really, no, the all the athletic American Athletic fucking Conference. Like you nigga, what? American Conference. You want to get them the trophy because they beat a Army team. Are you serious, my nigga? They beat Navy. Wow, they beat Navy. It, they beat Texas A&M, who wasn't fucking good to begin with. And yet you want me to give these motherfuckers credit. Those two teams would have never played for the playoffs, the championship last night. That's why I don't like the fucking college playoffs. Because it just made the shit look so much stupider. You have now eliminated the fact that winning the conference was the main fucking factor. Actually playing against teams that matter. And yet y'all now want to just say, well, you lose three games, no matter if you want to lose them late, early, or midway. As long as you went through, you lost three games, and yet you gotta make an argument for fucking Alabama for why they should be in the college playoffs. Are you stupid? Are you stupid or are you dumb? Which one? The shit is embarrassing. Shit is very goddamn embarrassing. But that's how people look at it. I had to hear people try to tell me Ole Miss was good and Ole Miss was supposed to get in the playoffs. Niggas, you stupid? Yeah, yeah. This is the thing. This is the thing about college football, man. And again, like I said, college football, and it's something I told my brother Juan today, and it's 100% true. And you could literally look at it. College football is rooted in fans. It's rooted in the fandom. That's why college football is so, you know, incredible. Because you go to these college campuses and you see how the college campuses and teams are and how they are, and that's awesome. But then you put yourself in a position where you pretty much are showing us that not every team is created equal, and that's the fucking problem. And college football has always been that way, but it's like, god damn, this 12 team playoff really showed you how fucking dumb people are. Where I'm literally telling people for weeks, months, if you think Georgia's good, you are fucking delusional. If you think Alabama deserves to be in the college playoffs, you are looking at the name, not the fucking game. If you think Ole Miss at any point this season made you feel like they were good enough to be in a college fucking playoff game, you are fucking out of your goddamn mind. I don't know what you was watching. This shit's embarrassing. This 12 team playoff sucked because you have to. And again, like I said, the two teams that played for the national championship last night would have not even gotten in the fucking playoffs. You would have made an argument Notre Dame doesn't have a conference, and they had the worst loss of everyone. And the only teams that you could even say they beat is Army. That's the only team that actually won a conference. And you'll be like, well, Army was good. But they played Tulane in the like, come on, bro. Like it's just like, yeah. The two teams that played last night wouldn't have never even made the goddamn playoffs. Think about that for a second. They would never even made the fucking playoffs. If if you want to expand to six, expand to eight. Don't expand to fucking 12. That's because again, like it confused the shit out of a lot of us. It's like, wait a minute. So there's five conferences, six now because the Pac-12 is coming back. But there's five conferences, five. Four of them get to bye. One has to play no matter what. You didn't see a flaw in this shit at all. Like, you y'all didn't see a flaw in this at all. At all. You didn't see a flaw. And then on top of that, y'all made the 12th team who won the conference, by the way. Y'all made the 12th team a conference team. They won a championship. But because Texas had a better record, and that's stretching it. Like, yeah, that's stretching it. Like, a better record? I don't really know. Well, they lost to Georgia twice. Nigga, they still lost. I don't know about that. But you made Texas play against Clemson. Fuck is going? And Texas was the home team. Like, nigga, what? Nigga, how? Yeah, this shit was wild. This shit was so weird. The Clemson who won the conference. Not saying Clemson was fucking great this fucking season, but you made Clemson the 12th fucking team. The 12th fucking team. You could have given these niggas the five. You could have given these niggas the six, seven, eight. No, you're the 12th best team in college football. You're gonna play the fifth best team, Texas. That shit is so goddamn disrespectful. So fucking disrespectful. And you wonder why we look at y'all and say y'all don't know shit about college football. And my brother White is right. A lot of these fucking analysts, again, I use that word very fucking loosely nowadays when I say analysts, because a lot of these motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about. They have their own agendas for why certain people should be in certain things. You don't even watch these games. You only have to watch. You only watch these games when now you have to talk about them. But you don't watch none of these teams. Y'all never watch Boise this whole year. You never watch SMU like that. You watch the Clemsons and the Georgias and and that's why a lot of y'all was talking crazy about Miami. There's no way in hell you saw Miami and Clemson this year and you thought Miami could lose to Clemson. Cam Ward will lose to Clemson. Okay, sure. Miami's defense ain't great at all, but they could beat Clemson. They would have beaten Clemson. Fuck out of here. Congratulations to Ohio State. Like I said this morning, I'll see y'all in 10 more years when they expand this college playoffs to 16, and you win that next championship because you motherfuckers ain't winning another title until like 10 years. Y'all motherfuckers ain't winning another championship in like 5 to 10 years. Like get the fuck out of here. NFL. So I get into it. My eyes on football. Big four. And my levels of warning. Ben Johnson is officially now the Chicago Bears head coach. Now there's two head coaching jobs that are now officially um, done and signed, sealed, and delivered, and have head coaches. New England with Mike Vrabel and Ben Johnson of the Detroit Lions offensive coordinator is now the Chicago Bears head coach. What do I think of this situation? What do I think of Ben Johnson taking the job? Great for him. I'm happy for him. Do I think he's going to change the Chicago Bears? Not a bit. I don't think he changes the Chicago Bears at all. Like I told my brother Juan today, Detroit is different. Chicago has nothing that Detroit has. And I know dumbass is gonna see this and think I'm lying. No the fuck I'm not. You know damn well Chicago doesn't have a goddamn thing Detroit has. They have no offensive line. Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery are better running backs than DeAndre Swift. And I don't even know who the fuck the backup is in Chicago at DeAndre Swift. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a better receiver than DJ Moore right now. Jameson Williams is a better receiver than Keenan Allen right now. And Roma Medusa, if you want to even put that motherfucker in there. Sam Laporta is a better tight end than any tight end Chicago has. When we talk about the offensive line, don't even fucking get me started. It's fucking embarrassing. And Jared Goff, despite what happened Saturday, is a better quarterback than Caleb Williams. Are you fucking kidding ourselves? They have nothing that Detroit has. And yet, you took the job. And I'm happy for you. But like I said, if we're going to do this, do what the Raiders did. Start with a clean slate. Just get rid. It's shit. Even the Jets. These teams that have kept the GM and then try to establish, something. It's stupid. Like Chicago, you have no real reason to keep Ryan Post at all. You could have easily let the man go, but you kept him. I don't know why. Like I said today, outside of Caleb Williams and Romaduza, he pretty much punted on y'all draft. Literally, he literally punted on y'all draft. He had a fucking defensive end that really didn't play any. That really didn't even fucking play. And Austin Booker from Kansas, he didn't even play. You got a kid from, you got an offensive lineman from Yale, okay, and then no, yeah, you got an offensive lineman from like Yale or somewhere, and then you got a fucking punter, a punter. Your last fucking one of your first, y'all realize they drafted the punter in like the third fucking round, third, fourth round. Their third pick after drafting Caleb Williams and Romaduza in the first round was a fucking punter. A punter. Fire this nigga. Why are you keeping this man? What is going on? Does this nigga got pictures on y'all? What is going on? There ain't no way in hell you niggas waited. This nigga drafted a fucking punter. And y'all thought that was cool. Okay. Do I think he fixes Chicago? Fuck no. I don't think he fixes Chicago. Because you got to work with a GM that he's not aligned to you. He's not tagged with you. And you got to fix a quarterback that intangibly is fucked up. Keller Williams got all the skills in the world. But his personality comes off as a little bit too snotty. He comes off like a fucking, like a spoiled ass boy that feels like I'm the best. I'm the guy already. Why would I want to? It's like, bro, no. Like I said, if Ben Johnson could tell Keller Williams one thing, and everybody is not going to understand this except the real football fans. I don't need you to be Keller Williams. I need you to be the Chicago Bears quarterback. So whatever the fuck I tell you to do, you gonna do it. He needs that. He needs him to shut him the fuck up and say, listen, hey bro, that shit you did last year, yeah, that shit ain't gonna fly this year. You saw what I did with Jared Goff? At one point, Jared Goff was a MVP candidate. You didn't even get a chance to be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Think about that. At one point, Jared Goff was an MVP candidate. You didn't even get in the. That was not even a discussion if you should be MVP for Rookie of the Year. You wasn't even in the. Nobody even thought of you for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Nowhere near this season. I'm supposed to just listen to you? I'm here to fix you. And to be honest with you, I have no ties to you. So if we get rid of Ryan Poles next year, you're not my quarterback. And I don't have to force myself I have to force myself into telling everybody that you are, because I can move on from you next year. Because the Bears need me way more than they need you. Congratulations, Ben Johnson. Congratulations, man. So the teams that are now looking for head coaches are the Raiders, the Jets, the Jags, the Cowboys, and the Saints. Holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah. Anyway, my eyes on football. Oh, yeah. Eyes on football. 4 games. Well, there's not really 4 games left. It's only two. But I talk about them in kind of 4 topics, I should say. Skeptical game of the week, my most interesting game of the week, my upset game of the week, and of course, the game of the week. So let's get into it. My skeptical game of the week is also my game of the week, and that is the Commanders and the Eagles. Why is my skeptical game, but also my game of the week? This shit is interesting. It's interesting because the Eagles' offense, even though putting up 28 points Sunday against the Rams, there's not been one time where this offense looks good. It doesn't look good. You got that confused with Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley looks amazing. Saquon Barkley looks like, bitch, I'm going to a Super Bowl with or without y'all. Saquon Barkley, like, nigga, I'm going to a Super Bowl. I'm going to play for a Super Bowl with or without y'all niggas. I do not need y'all. I can do this shit without y'all. He is playing like, nigga, fuck y'all. I don't need y'all. Saquon Barkley is the Eagles' offense. That's what you brought him there for. See, Baltimore? That's what you bring the fucking running back there for. You give him the ball and say, hey, take us to the promised land, my nigga. I don't hear that shit. We didn't bring him here for 30 carries. Shut your ass up. Yes, you did. Shut up. Saquon Barkley has run the Eagles to the NFC Championship game. Can he run them to the Super Bowl? We shall see Sunday. We shall see Sunday. Reason why is my skeptic, and this is why it's my game of the week, because it's not about the Eagles. It's about the Commanders. This team has found confidence since that game where they had to come back against the Eagles. Now I know people are gonna sit here and say, "Well, Brandon, Jalen Hurts got knocked out in that game. Let's be real. If he didn't get concussed, who's to say Washington even comes back and wins that game?" You are 100% right. You are 100% right. We don't know. We don't know. But the Commanders didn't play Jalen Hurts. Jane Daniels wasn't throwing the ball against Jalen Hurts in that offense. He was throwing the ball against that defense, and that defense gave up 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to Jay Daniels. I know that. If you actually watch the first time these two teams played, Washington put up a fight in that game. They put up a fight in that game. Again, it was only when Saquon Barkley took over. Saquon Barkley is the key to this game. Point blank fucking period. Washington is going to have to cloud the box. They have to load the box. You have to believe that Marshawn Lattimore could shut down A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith and just leave him on the island and let him shut one of them down. And he got to travel with them. He can't let just have one. No, because then the Eagles are gonna realize, oh, they're just gonna leave him on the left side. Okay, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, you're gonna be in bunch formations the rest of the game, and that's just how we're gonna move this football. This is how I would do it if I was the Commanders. And Dan Quinn has been a defensive coordinator against the Eagles for at least the last 4 or 5 years. He knows that offense very fucking well. Now, yes, he hasn't coached against that offense too much with Saquon Barkley there, but he has coached against Saquon Barkley as well. This is different. And the third time might be the charm for the Commanders defensively against the Eagles. This is why I say it's a skeptical game, and it's also the game of the week because I'm still waiting for the Eagles offense to get going with Jalen Hurts. I've seen enough to know Jay Daniels' calmness. He doesn't get rattled. Realize Jay Daniels threw like 2 picks in that game against the Eagles and still came back and won that game. I don't think the Eagles can afford to throw picks or turn over the ball against the Commanders. They're going to lose. And that's the thing about this past weekend. Turnovers is the reason for why a lot of these teams won. Detroit had 5 of them bitches. Baltimore had 3 of them. The Texans had a couple turnovers. Like the Rams had some turnovers. The Eagles also had some turnovers. So it's just like you gotta be 100% dialed in this game. And again, I don't know if the Eagles are. I think the Eagles are playing with house. A lot of you said the Commanders are playing with house money. The Eagles are playing with house money because you're at home, and you think the crowd is just going to continuously roll with you. But if it's not like it was Sunday, if it's cold but it's not snowing and you can move the football, I think the Commanders beat the Eagles. I think the Commanders can beat the Eagles. I'm not gonna lie. I think the Commanders can beat the Eagles. This is why this NFC this game is very intriguing to me because it's like I wouldn't be surprised if the Commanders go in. And again, it's a divisional game. They've already played 3 times. It's not like the Eagles just absolutely dominated the fucking Commanders. They can give the Eagles a run for their money, man. And again, on top of that, the Eagles defense has seen Jane Daniels now a couple of times. But more importantly, Jane Daniels has seen the Eagles a couple of fucking times. It's gonna be an intriguing situation. Do I think the Eagles could just go out there and just blow out the Commanders? Of course they can. Do I think the Commanders could go out there and blow out the Eagles? Yeah, they could. But what I think is gonna happen? I think the Eagles win, but I also feel like the Commanders could get them. And I would not be surprised if the Commanders pull this shit off. I wouldn't be surprised. Because something that the Commanders have that the Eagles I think don't is confidence. I don't think the Commanders have enough confidence in their I don't think the Eagles have enough confidence in Nick Sirianni like that. And like I said, you stop Saquon Barkley, you pretty much stop the Eagles offense. It's crazy to sit there and think with a team with Devontae Smith and AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts that if you stop the running game, you pretty much stop the offense. And that's pretty much what it feels like. So yeah. My most interesting game of the week is also my upset game of the week. And that is the Bills and the Chiefs. Josh Allen had 16 passes. He threw the balls 22 times. He completed 16 completions for almost 120 some yards. He had 50 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. There's nothing about those numbers that made me feel like he was the best quarterback Sunday night against the Ravens. The Bills are pretty much the Bills are pretty much they need James Cook. They need James Cook. The only way to win in these games is if James Cook is the guy. And I've always said this. The moment Josh Allen has to be more than what he needs to be, the moment Josh Allen feels like, oh, I gotta establish I'm the best quarterback, you're gonna fucking lose. You're gonna fucking lose. Now the Baltimore Ravens gave you the easiest lob of all lobs. They turned over the ball too fucking much. They played the game plan exactly the way the Bills needed them to play the game plan. I literally said this last fucking week that the Bills and the Ravens can do the same exact shit to each other. But Lamar Jackson was the better quarterback Sunday. Yes, even with the turnovers, he was still the better quarterback. You think if the Baltimore Ravens got up 21-10 against the Buffalo Bills Sunday, you think the Baltimore Ravens gonna let the Bills come back? Fuck no. I don't. You got Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. I'm not letting you come back. You are doomed, sir. Kansas City Chiefs, I talk about them in my levels of warning. What do I feel about this game? Do I think the Bills can do it? Yes, the only reason why I think the Bills could upset the Kansas City Chiefs this time around is because you now have a quarterback that the NFL invested a little bit. The NFL has invested a lot in this person too, Josh Allen. They want Josh Allen to be this peer of Patrick Mahomes, and the only way you get that done is if you actually have a clean fucking game. You can't force the flags now for Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City like you've been doing, especially if you want to establish this Josh Allen's Patrick Mahomes, you know, comp. You can't have that. You need Josh Allen to be just as on a level as Patrick Mahomes, and I don't think he is. He would never be. But the only way you can get that even sold to people is if Josh Allen gets to a Super Bowl. That is the only reason why I think the Bills could win this game. It's because the referees are going to pretty much swallow the whistle for this game. And that is something I never thought in a million years I thought I would ever say. The referees are going to pretty much say, all right, y'all just got to play. We're not throwing flags on bullshit calls. We're going to let y'all play. And that right there is all that matters. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. I don't think the Bills are great. Not by. I don't think the Bills are great at all. If you actually watch the first two games of the playoffs for the Buffalo Bills, there was nothing about the Bills. You watch the playoffs, the first two games for the playoffs. The Buffalo Bills barely beat Denver. Like I said, the Bills pretty much didn't really establish their dominance until like the third quarter, mid third quarter, early fourth. They really didn't dominate these dudes until like the third, fourth quarter. And then you watch the Baltimore game. If if Baltimore does not have the turnovers that they had, who's to say Bills score any of those points? And they scored 6 points in the second fucking half. And yet I'm supposed to sit there and think the Buffalo Bills are fucking good? It's like no, but I do believe the referees are gonna swallow the whistle. I do believe that. I think the referees are definitely gonna swallow the whistle so they can at least have this conversation now and say, "Oh wait, Josh Allen is just on the same par as Patrick Mahomes." No, if Kansas City wins this game, I don't want to ever hear about Josh Allen ever again. It's the same conversation y'all want to sit here and say Lamar Jackson is in. No, Josh Allen is there. He's there too. He can't beat Patrick Mahomes to save his fucking life. And that shit is dead. We can officially put that shit in the box. My big four, a big four in the NFL. Four teams. I rank them, put them down. Let's get it going. There's only four teams left in the NFL, so let's get it in. Number one, it's the Commanders. Beating the Detroit Lions 45-31. The shit wasn't even close. The Commanders established who they were and they dominated from the get go. They beat the hell out the goddamn Detroit Lions. They whooped that ass. Lord, Lord, Lord. Put up 45 points. That's the most points that I'm pretty goddamn sure. That's the most points a rookie quarterbacks ever scored in a playoff game. 45 fucking points. The Commanders defensively is starting to wake up. Now again, running defense is not great. Their running defense is god awful. They're not great at stopping the run. So this is the one thing about Philly. Like I said, if they could get Saquon Barkley going early, they can win this game. If they could consistently keep Saquon Barkley going, they're gonna probably win this game. But if Washington could stop the run, and I mean load the box, fuck it, load it, and just say, you know what, beat us with your passing game, they might have a chance to beat Philly. They might have a chance to beat Philly, and that is the key thing. You have to establish the run defense in this game. I do not think Jaden Daniels gets rattled, and I've seen Jaden Daniels since he entered into LSU. Shit, even when he was at Arizona State, the dude don't get rattled. The dude don't get nervous. He don't get nervous. He don't get rattled. He is who he is. He him. That's what they say. The kids call him. He him. He him. He don't get rattled. He don't get nervous. I'm pretty sure he's like, this is what the fuck I've been waiting for my whole life. Let's get it. Let's motherfucking get it. Let's do this. So I don't really worry too much about the Washington Commanders' deep offense. I don't. It sounds nuts to say that. I don't worry about the offense. I think if they establish themselves early, they can get the Eagles, and that's the key part of it. They're my number one team going into the conference championship weekend. Number two is the Eagles, winning 28-22, beating the Los Angeles Rams. Woo shit, was that game close? Here's the thing, man. The Eagles should be dominating teams, and it feels like they're just biting their time. They're just biting their time. They're just biting their time. They're not establishing. They're not dominating anyone. They're not really physically beating down anyone. And it feels like that's why it kind of feels like the Eagles are just biding their time, and you're just waiting for the Eagles to just turn it on. But I don't think it's happening. I don't think this offense is going to be anywhere near what they are. I think they literally are like, is Saquon a bust? And I really do feel like that. I think they really do feel like it's Saquon or bust. If Saquon Barkley gets going, the Eagles are good offensively. But the moment Saquon gets stopped up and can't really get going, you put the ball in Jalen Hurts in that passing game's hands, and all fucking season, they have not been connecting. That's a problem. That is a fucking problem. Nick Sirianni has to be the guy. He has to coach this team. But again, I'm putting my faith in Nick Sirianni to get this fucking offense right. I don't trust it. Number three, Buffalo Bills. They won. Going to the AFC Championship game for the second time since 2020 with Josh Allen. They beat the Baltimore Ravens, held on 27-25. Mark Andrews' ass should have held on, but I'll talk about him in a couple minutes. Buffalo is going against Kansas City for the AFC Championship game. The NFL is finally going to get what they wanted for years. They finally got it. It's going to finally be Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. They're going to finally go to the college champion. They're going to go and they're going to finally battle for the championship. Who's going to the Super Bowl? I don't care. Um, I don't care. Like I said, Buffalo's offense is very simple. Give the ball to James Cook. Do not try to make Josh Allen the fucking MVP. Don't do it. I get it. You think he can. You think he's going to be this great quarterback. You are going to fucking derail your team if you do that. Establish the run and keep it that way. You do not need to do anything fucking massive. Yeah, Josh Allen can have that one play where he's really great. But the moment you try to force him into something that he's never been, you're going to ruin the game. You're going to ruin the game. And that's my thing. And fourth is clearly the Kansas City Chiefs. They're fourth. I'll talk about them in a minute. They're fourth. Loves a warning for the NFL. You already know yellow is caution, orange is panic time, and red is clearly DOA. So let's get into it. Yellow, caution, Baltimore Ravens. They finished the season 13-6. Losing, man, fucking heartbreak. At the last second, Mark Andrews drops the 2-point conversion. So many people are talking about this. Everybody's trying to blame Lamar Jackson. Everybody's trying to say, well, Lamar showed up. I would have said that in the first half, and if they would have got their ass blown out, then all right, then. Yeah, playoff Lamar just completely showed up. But you can't say that when you look at the second half, and they fucking came back and fucking almost won the fucking came back and almost tied the game and went into overtime. And if they went into overtime, it'd probably be Baltimore. I mean, it'd probably be Buffalo. They beat them because Buffalo could not stop them in the second half. Like I said, you can use that playoff Lamar shit if they got completely just ran out the building. If they were just completely like it was just like they just didn't have a chance, then then I'm with you on that. Lamar Jackson just did not show the fuck up, and it is what it is. But that's not the case. And people want to use that fucking analogy so much that it's just Lamar. Lamar just can't get it done. Bitch, if it wasn't for Lamar, they probably don't even come back in a second fucking half. What are you talking about? What are we doing? What are we doing here? Todd Monken, for the second straight year, just decide to not run the football. You got Derrick fucking Henry. You run him 16 times for 84 yards and a touchdown. And again, you get to the 2-point conversion. You did this shit in Pittsburgh, and you do it again in this goddamn game. You got Derrick fucking Henry. If Buffalo stopped Derrick Henry, they ain't just stop Derrick fucking Henry. It is what it is. But you got Derrick fucking Henry. My nigga, I'm putting Justice Hill behind Derrick Henry. I'm putting Mark Andrews behind Derrick Henry. And we doing a tush push. Fuck you. I'm I'm establishing that shit out the gate. We not doing this shit. That is stupid. Mark Andrews dropping the ball, fumbling the football. Listen, it is what it is. Mark Andrews has been a great tight end for a very long stretch of his career. He's been an incredible tight end for a long period of his career. But for the last couple of years, he's been hurt. And in big moments, he hasn't shown the fuck up. And it's okay to say that. It's okay to say that. And also on the top of that, they have a better tight end right now in Isaiah Likely. And I actually think you need to use him more. I'm not saying get rid of Mark Andrews and say he's just terrible and all that, but I think a change of command would be very suiting for the Baltimore Ravens right now. It would actually fucking help you. If you actually use Isaiah Likely more, it would actually help you. Listen, Baltimore loses. Todd Monken, like I said, screwed the Baltimore Ravens again for another straight fucking year. Do I think Baltimore will ever win a Super Bowl? Yes, I do think Baltimore is going to win a Super Bowl. There's no way in hell you sit here and you think Baltimore is not going to win a Super Bowl ever. The defense got better at the end of the year. The offense has to go get another receiver. You have to. You have to go get another receiver. Zay Flowers not being there is a massive hit to your team. That was not supposed to fucking happen. You have to go get another receiver. You have to. Maybe Tariq Hill leaves, and maybe you just have to bite the fucking bullet and go get Tariq Hill. You just gotta bite the bullet, man. Fuck it. Bite the bullet. Maybe Green Bay gets tired of Romeo Dobbs and say, fuck it, we'll let you go. T. Higgins will be a free agent. Maybe T. Higgins doesn't re-up with the Cincinnati Bengals. Like I said, Chicago with DJ Moore. That's an actual conversation. That might happen. But Baltimore needs to go get a receiver. And they need to go get one now. They need a number 1, 2 receiver. They need one. Because this, you know, we could just figure it out. No, you can't. Go get a receiver, bro. You go get Tariq Hill, and I'm pretty sure Miami, if you give Miami a couple picks, and maybe even Mark Andrews, that's a deal. They'll take that. I know they'll take that. So yeah, Orange Panty time, and that's the Lions. Finishing the season 15-3 after losing, just getting their ass handed to them in the NFC divisional round. I was so looking forward to seeing if Detroit could get to the Super Bowl. Detroit was my team to get to the Super Bowl this year, and it didn't happen. We could say it was the injuries. Yeah, defensively, of course. Yeah, sure. We could say it was the injuries, but at the same time, I mean, they actually had an injury in the game. Nick Robinson, uh, literally tore his fucking tricep, tore his arm. You know, and you see that and just, oh my god, god damn, dude. Yes, the injuries did not help the Detroit Lions, but at the same time, Detroit played exactly the way Washington needed them to play, which was put the ball in Jared Goff's hands and make him actually have to beat you. And I don't think Jared Goff's a bad quarterback at all. I don't think he's an average quarterback at all, but I think he is who he is. He's prone to what he is. Do I think Detroit's offense is going to be bad next year? No. Even though Ben Johnson is gone, I don't think Detroit's offense is going to be bad because at the end of the day, man, like I said, you got Jameer Gibbs, you got David Montgomery, you got Sam Laporta, you got Amon St. Brown, you got Jameson Williams. They're going to probably get another fucking receiver. I wouldn't be surprised if they do get another receiver at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if they end up finding a way to get a fucking T. Higgins or some shit. And you just be sitting there like, what the? How the fuck they end up getting them? But Detroit is a great team. As long as you got Dan Campbell, you're always going to have a chance. You're always going to have a chance to get to a Super Bowl. You're always going to have a chance to be one of the best teams in the NFC North. That's just the case. And red is DOA, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. 16-2. They're the only team left on the playoffs that is actually on my list for levels of warning. I do not trust Kansas City for shit. Kansas City's defense is really good. Really good. But at the same damn time, it's hard to not look at that offense of Kansas City and say, if your ass don't get bailed out like y'all get bailed out, these games wouldn't even be close. You guys will barely score. It's just the truth. Here's the thing, man. The Texans are still stopping Kansas City. Kansas City had a kickoff return that literally brought them to like the 30, and then you had a penalty that brought them to like the 15. You want to know what they? You want to know what the results of that first drive was? A field goal. A field goal. The results of that first drive was a field goal. You telling me you had about a 50-yard kickoff return and a 15-yard penalty added on to it, and you ended that first drive with a field goal, and you got Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, DeAndre Hopkins, Xavier Worthy, in your first drive in it in a field goal. You scored 23 points when your defense had 8 sacks, like 2, 3 turnovers, and you scored 23 points. All right. All right. It's kind of hard to not look at the Kansas City Chiefs and be like, yeah, the refs help you, but you guys suck. You're not good. You're not good on offense. You suck. You're not good. You don't do anything offensively that scares us. And that's the thing. If you don't get saved by the refs in certain situations and get bailed out by the refs in certain situations, you probably don't you probably don't even get down the field most of these times. The offensive line of Kansas City sucks. It's not great. It hasn't been great for years. But do I think Kansas City can beat Buffalo? Fuck yeah. I easily think Kansas City beats Buffalo. I don't think it's even a goddamn conversation. Because Buffalo doesn't have enough to physically stop them in the playoffs. Regular season is different than the playoffs. And that's the thing. But Kansas City has not had one game this season where they've scored over 30 fucking points. That's a fucking problem. Yo, even in the playoffs, you have not scored over 30 fucking points. That's a problem. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. That's a problem. That is a problem. And you can sit here all day and say whatever you want to say. But there is no way in hell I look at the Kansas City Chiefs and think they're the best team in the NFL. They got a record that is 16-2, and there's not one time I felt like Kansas City was the best team in the NFL. And here's how crazy this shit is: they're gonna probably win the Super Bowl again this year. They're gonna probably win the Super Bowl again this year. And I will still sit here and tell you the next day after they win that Super Bowl, and I will sit here on I Bleed Sports and tell you that has got to be the most hollow fucking Super Bowl championship I've ever seen in my motherfucking life. There's no way in hell I believe Kansas City was the best fucking team this whole fucking year. Fuck out of here. No, it's not about scoring points all day. But when you have a team that is structured like Kansas City structured, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, all these getting by shouldn't be the premise of why you're a good team. You should be dominating motherfuckers. And yet, people are just sitting there telling me, but they're just getting by. They get to squeak by. Really, nigga? That's how you see a football, that type of caliber of a team. What one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, one of the greatest tight ends of all time, one of the greatest head coaches of all time, one of the best defenses probably left in the playoffs, and yet you still sit there and tell me, but they squeak by, so it's okay. What? Sure. Okay. You could give them motherfuckers all the praise in the world. I do not trust this team, not once. And they're gonna probably win a Super Bowl. And I will still look at you and be like, I don't care. I do not give one single fuck. Congratulations. But I do not give a fuck. And that is the end. That is the end of I Believe Sports. I'll be back next week to talk about everything that's going on. Dave Morrell and Dave Benavidez will be literally a couple days from fighting each other. Of course, the Super Bowl will be set. And I'll talk about it. Until next time, I am Brandon Janeau. Peace.